630 miles to touchdown for Discovery at Edwards Air Force Base. Discovery speed now 8,700 miles per hour. Altitude 33 miles or 174,000 feet. Discovery now banking back to the left. The third in a series of 4 banks it performs to dissipate speed as it approaches landing. Discovery speed now 7,500 miles per hour. Wings angled 68 degrees to the left. Discovery's altitude 167,000 feet. 470 miles to touchdown at Edwards Air Force Base.
Discovery Houston, energy, ground track, and nav are all go. Your touchdown is 2,600 at 2:05.
And Discovery copies, thank you.
That call confirming that Discovery is right on course for its touchdown on runway 22 at Edwards. 11.5 minutes to touchdown for Discovery. Discovery within range of ground tracking radar now from the landing site. Discovery speed now 9 times the speed of sound, Mach 9, about 6,100 miles per hour. Altitude 155,000 feet. Range to touchdown 360 miles. Discovery approaching the California coast is shown in this tracking map from Mission Control. Discovery will cross the California coast to the north of Los Angeles between Oxnard and Ventura, California. Discovery speed now 5,100 miles per hour. 287 miles to touchdown.
Houston, Discovery is ready for TACANS.
We agree, Discovery. Take TACANS.
Taking TACANS.
That call giving Discovery a go to use tactical air navigation data to update its navigation information on board. That's an update to bearing and heading for the shuttle, supplied by a radio beacon on the ground located at the landing site. Discovery's altitude now 25 miles or 136,000 feet as it approaches California. Continuing in a left bank, wings angled 40 degrees. Speed Mach 6 or 4,300 miles per hour. As Discovery makes its final approach to Edwards Air Force Base, it will perform a right overhead 196-degree turn to align with the runway. This live television of Discovery now via an infrared tracking camera located at in California. Discovery 155 miles out from Edwards Air Force Base. An altitude of 21 miles, 111,000 feet. Discovery speed 3,200 miles per hour. Discovery now banking back to the right, the fourth in a series of 4 banks it has performed to dissipate speed as it approaches the landing site. 135 miles to touchdown at Edwards. Discovery en route to the 50th landing for a space shuttle at Edwards Air Force Base. Seven and a half minutes to touchdown.
Discovery Houston, take air data.
Discovery taking air data.
That call that Discovery can use data gathered from air data probes deployed on either side of the nose of the spacecraft to update onboard navigation. They supply updates on altitude and airspeed based on measurements of barometric pressure and wind speed. Speed now 2,000 miles per hour. Altitude 87,000 feet. 81 miles to touchdown. Discovery at 2.5 times the speed of sound. Altitude 80,000 feet.
Discovery Houston, we see you on energy approaching the hack. No changes to winds or weather. You will be nominal shoot deploy.
Discovery copies all and a nominal shoot deploy.
Discovery on course and proper speed as it approaches a final turn to align with runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base. 46 miles to touchdown for Discovery. Altitude 65,000 feet. Discovery speed 1,000 miles per hour. 1.5 times the speed of sound, Mach 1.5. Discovery's wings leveling as it approaches the landing site. For its final approach, it will perform a right overhead 196-degree turn to align with runway 22. As Discovery goes subsonic, Commander Eileen Collins will take over manual control of Discovery's flight. Just over 4 minutes to touchdown for Discovery now as we see a infrared camera view of its approach. Altitude 46,000 feet. 28 miles out from touchdown. Standing by for Discovery to go subsonic. Pilot to Jim Kelly flying Discovery now. That, as normally planned, for Kelly to fly it first, and then Eileen Collins to take over control of Discovery's flight. Now Commander Eileen Collins in control of Discovery's approach. Approaching a final turn to align with the runway, a right overhead 197-degree turn. Discovery's altitude 30,000 feet. Discovery's descent to the runway 20 times steeper than that of a standard commercial airliner's descent. Discovery now banking to the right as it begins final turn to line with the runway. Wings angled 50 degrees.
At the 180.
Discovery on at the 180.
That call that Discovery is on course with 180 degrees left to go, and it's turn to line with runway 22. Altitude 22,000 feet.
Discovery Houston on at the 90.
Discovery on at the 90.
Altitude 17,000 feet. Just over 10 miles to touchdown for Discovery.
Houston, Discovery has the runway in sight.
Copy runway.
This is a view from the heads-up display for pilot Jim Kelly. A live view out the forward windows, looking down at Edwards Air Force Base. Discovery rolling on to align with the runway. Altitude 7,000 feet. Altitude 5,000 feet. Discovery descending through 3,000 feet, 3 miles to touchdown. (1,000 feet). Landing gears down and locked. Main gear touchdown. Drag chute deploy. Nose gear touchdown. And Discovery is home. Around the vehicle for its ferry flight back to Florida. Normally takes about 6 days to prepare the shuttle for that ferry flight and to be mated to the 747 shuttle carrier aircraft.
Discovery Houston for Eileen, page 5-8.
Ready to copy on 5-8.
Okay, Eileen, we'll take rad reconfig now, and that's just rad reconfig.
Okay, we will do rad reconfig at this time at the top of 5-8, and 5-3 is complete.
Copy, 5-3 is complete.
Eileen Collins and crew now going through standard steps to safe the shuttle after landing. Discovery's touchdown at Edwards Air Force Base occurred at 22 seconds past 7:11 a.m. Central Daylight Time.
Houston, contact from the PLT.
Go ahead, Vegas.
Take it to loud and clear, Hawk. I'm on headset now, and I'm ready for the ET umbilical door opening.
Okay, Vegas, you have a go for ET umbilical door opening.
Inward.
Houston, rad reconfig is complete on page 5-5, and correction on page 5-8, and we are back on page 5-4. And I'd like to report that the side hatch is safed.
Copy, side hatch is safed, and we're with you on 5-4.
This television view as the landing convoy moves into place around Discovery. That convoy manned by personnel from the Kennedy Space Center. Discovery completed the 50th Space Shuttle landing at Edwards Air Force Base tonight.
Discovery Houston for Eileen, page 5-8 again.
Page 5-8, go ahead.
You are now go for ammonia activation. You will be Alpha, Pri GPC.
Go for ammonia activation, Alpha Pri GPC.
Good copy.
Houston, RCS ohm safing is complete. We're starting drag chute safing.
Copy, Eileen, we're with you. And for Vegas, hydraulic load test is not required.
Copy that, thanks. Houston, Discovery, I'm ready for set body flap on page 5-7.
And Vegas, your go for that.
Houston, drag chute safing is complete. Deact air data probes is checked per the checklist and moving to landing gear safing.
Copy, we're with you.
Houston, Discovery, set body flap is complete. SSM repo standing by ops 9.
And we understand.
As the crew continues through checklist to safe the shuttle systems after landing. Normally it's about another half hour before the crew can exit the vehicle. That occurring normally about 45 minutes or so after touchdown. There will be a post-landing press conference originating from the Kennedy Space Center at approximately 8:30 a.m. Central Time.
Houston with the tag up on the bottom of page 5-4.
Go ahead.
RJDs are off, side hatch, drag chute, landing gear are all safe. 5-4 is complete.
Okay, we copy that, Eileen. And if you flip to 5-6, you have a go for the DPS transition to Ops 9.
Discovery has a go for DPS transition to Ops 9. Houston, we have a good NDOT in Ops 9. We'll do the Ops 901 Pro.
And we are ready for that. Discovery Houston for Vegas, you are go for SSME repo.
Inward.
It's about 40 minutes to sunrise at Edwards Air Force Base as Discovery's crew continues to work through post-landing checklists. Their departure from the spacecraft is not anticipated for another approximately half hour or so, that normally occurring about 45 minutes or so after touchdown. post-landing press conference is planned to originate from the Kennedy Space Center at approximately 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. That will be followed by a press conference from the Johnson Space Center. The Kennedy Space Center post-landing press conference. Participants include NASA Administrator Mike Griffin, Associate Administrator for the Office of Space Operations Bill Reedy, Space Shuttle Program Manager Bill Parsons, and KSC Launch and Landing Director Mike Leinbach. News conference following that, originating from the Johnson Space Center, will include Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane. The post-landing press conference originating from the Kennedy Space Center will field questions only from reporters located at Kennedy. The press conference that follows that from the Johnson Space Center will field questions from participating NASA centers.
Houston Discovery SSMA repo is complete. I'm ready to go to APU hide shutdown if you like it.
We concur, Vegas. We saw a good repo as well, and you are go for APU hide shutdown.
In work per page 5-9. Houston Discovery APU hide shutdown complete. I'll pick up post-landing MPS reconfig in about 45 seconds.
Okay, we concur with that.
At Edwards Air Force Base, the crew continuing through their post-landing checklists aboard Discovery. It's anticipated they won't be exiting the vehicle until shortly before 8 a.m. Central Time. The landing convoy vehicles have moved into position around the shuttle. Convoy personnel checking the vicinity of the craft to ensure.
Discovery Houston for Eileen, page 5-10. You are go for PCS deactivation, go for GPS power down, and I can also give you a go for extended power up.
Okay, Discovery copies, go for PCS deactivation, GPS power down, and go for extended power up.
Good copy.
The convoy will move into position. Vehicles that provide a fan to disperse any propellant fumes that may exist around the vehicle. Also, we'll hook up ground cooling systems to the shuttle. Again, the crew's exit from the vehicle is not anticipated until normally shortly before 8 a.m. Central Time before they are at a point where they are exiting the shuttle. It is anticipated that Eileen Collins, some members of the crew may decide to do a walk around of the vehicle on the runway.
You are go for vent door purge positioning.
In work.
A post-landing press conference will originate from the Kennedy Space Center that beginning at approximately 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Participants in that press conference will include NASA Administrator Mike Griffin, Associate Administrator for the Office of Space Operations Bill Reedy, Space Shuttle Program Manager Bill Parsons, and KSC Launch and Landing Director Mike Leinbach. That'll be followed by a news conference from the Johnson Space Center, that occurring at approximately 9 a.m. Central Time, that with Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane. At the Dryden Flight Research Facility at Edwards Air Force Base, the crew, Commander Eileen Collins and some members of the crew are planning to hold a news conference at approximately 6 to 6.5 hours after touchdown, putting that around 1:15, no earlier than 1:15 p.m. Central Time, 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time today. The crew is planned to return to Houston.
Houston Discovery vent door purge positioning complete, ready for RCS ohms valve test if you are.
And Vegas, you are go for the RCS ohms valve test. Also, for the crew, you are go to doff suits.
And Discovery Vegas copies, he's go for the RCS ohms valve test, and the crew is go to doff suits.
Good copy.
Discovery's crew will return to Houston on Wednesday at approximately 3 p.m. Central Time. That's an event at Ellington Field for their arrival, will be televised live on NASA television. Again, that return to Houston planned at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, televised live on NASA television.
Discovery, we're going to hold off on the GPS switches until the ASP comes on board.
Okay, that's no problem at all.
Official times for Discovery's landing include main gear touchdown occurring this morning at 7:11:22 a.m. Central Time. Nose gear touchdown occurred at 7:11 and 41 seconds a.m. Central Daylight Time. And a wheel stop for Discovery occurred at 7:12 and 36 seconds a.m. Central Daylight Time. Discovery completed a 13-day, 21-hour, and 33-minute flight, traveling more than 5.8 million miles in its orbits of Earth. As aboard Discovery, the crew continues their post-landing checklists, safing systems on the shuttle, and preparing for their exit from the vehicle. Coming up on NASA television, we'll replay scenes of Discovery's landing recorded by trackers at the Dryden Flight Research Center, Edwards Air Force Base in California. Again, replays of Discovery's landing views coming up on NASA television in just a few moments. Replayed views from cameras that recorded landing at Dryden Flight Research Center and Edwards Air Force Base.
Houston Discovery for RCS Helms valve test. That's complete. I did hesitate on the 4 tank isolations in GPC prior to open and then back to GPC.
Okay, Vegas, we did see that, and thanks for that report. Everything appeared to be functioning normally.
Look good here, and understand from here you want me to go to page 5-15.
That is correct.
And I am putting 5-15 in work as written.
Okay.
And Houston, CDR is ready for page 5-14.
And Discovery Houston, Eileen, would like to start with GPC 5 mode switch to standby.
GPC 5 is coming to standby. Okay, Houston, that's complete.
Okay, we see that as well. You are go for page 5-14.
Houston, could you repeat your last?
Yeah, Eileen, you are go for page 5-14 as written.
Okay, working page 5-14.
Houston, Discovery for the PLT. I show all actions complete. I'm going to stand by on page 5-17 for the egress.
Okay, we copy and understand.
And Hawk, understand you concur. Do you see everything in a good config on the right side?
Yeah, Vegas, at this point, we see everything in a good config. We'll keep checking for you.
Copy that, and Hawk, just a question on the MEDS displays. Do you want me to turn some of these off to reduce the heat load in here, or just leave them as is?
And Vegas would prefer that you leave them in their current config, and we'll get them with the ASP.
That's no problem at all, Hawk. I'll leave them alone.
And Houston, if you like the NDAT, we'll do the Ops 901 Pro.
And Eileen, your go for the Ops 901 Pro.
That's in work. Houston, are we go for the airlog reset?
Yeah, Eileen, you are go for the airlog reset.
And Houston, that message, I believe, is due to the hatch opening.
And we concur. Discovery Houston for Eileen. At this time, we'll take the GPC 5 mode switch back to run.
GPC 5 to run, that's in work. Houston, GPC 5 is in run, and we're up to page 5-16, starting at the top.
Okay, we're with you.
And Houston, Discovery on MFC 1.
Go ahead.
That was an inadvertent crew switch throw. You can disregard it.
Okay, thank you.
And I just want to let you know that the aft is coming on board at this time.
Great, thanks. Discovery Houston with a message.
Hey, Houston, Discovery, go ahead.
Yeah, Eileen, your friends from above, Sergey and John, congratulate you on a safe return.
Well, that's great news. You can send our words back to them. They did an absolutely super job while we were docked. They were great crew members.
Wilco.
This is Mission Control Houston. Discovery's servicing continues at runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base with the shuttle landing convoy in position.
Houston Discovery Hawk from the PLT. I'm going to check on out unless you need me for something else.
At Vegas, we have nothing else for you. It's been a treat working with you.
Hey, me too, Hawk. You did an absolutely fantastic job. The whole mission has through the whole team. We'll talk to you guys back in Houston.
We'll see you.
And Houston has con check.
And ASP Houston, you are loud and clear.
Copy, read you the same.
The last call from pilot Jim Kelly for Discovery. He's exiting the vehicle. The crew exiting the vehicle now into the crew transport vehicle, which is pulled up to the hatch of Discovery.
And Discovery Houston for Eileen, page 5-22.
Go to page 5-22. And Houston, go ahead on page 5-22.
Eileen, you are go for ammonia reconfig. In step 3, you'll be on the bottom line, Bravo to SECON.
Okay, I'm go for ammonia reconfig, and in step 3, it'll be B, secondary on.
Good copy.
Houston's got ammonia B and secondary on.
Great, thank you.
And Houston, it looks like the temps are coming down. Let me know if you think this is a good spot for me to turn it over to the ASP.
Okay, Eileen, give us about 1 more minute to watch the controller, and then we'll give you a call back.
Okay, no problem. I can stay here as long as you need.
And Discovery Houston, Eileen, we are happy with the ammonia systems. At this time, you are go to egress. We'll see you all back in Houston.
Okay, thanks, Houston. We just want to check if the exterior cooling is hooked up yet.
Not yet.
Okay, copy that. I'm going to officially turn over to the ASP at this time.
Okay, we had a successful comp check with the ASP. We're happy.
CDR's out.
That call from Commander Eileen Collins signifying that she's exiting the vehicle now. Again, that last call indicating from Commander Eileen Collins that she is disconnecting from communications and planning to exit the vehicle as the convoy servicing Discovery continues work, setting up ground cooling for the shuttle systems. It is anticipated that Collins and perhaps other members of the crew may decide to do a walk around of Discovery on the runway. Coming up on NASA television at approximately 8:30 a.m. Central Time will be a post-landing press conference. That press conference will originate from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Participants in that press conference include NASA Administrator Mike Griffin, Associate Administrator for Space Operations Bill Reedy, Space Shuttle Program Manager Bill Parsons, and Mike Leinbach, Kennedy Space Center Launch and Landing Director. Questions for that press conference will be taken only from media on location at the Kennedy Space Center. That press conference will be followed immediately by a press conference with Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane, that occurring around 9 a.m. Central Time anticipated. Questions for that press conference with Leroy Kane will be taken from participating NASA centers. Commander Eileen Collins and possibly other members of Discovery's crew will hold a news conference at 6 to 6.5 hours approximately after touchdown, that being about 1:15 p.m. to 1:45 p.m. Central Time today, that originating from Dryden Flight Research Center at Edwards Air Force Base. They'll take questions only from media in attendance at Dryden. The return of Discovery's crew to Houston and to Ellington Field is anticipated on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. That return to Houston by the crew will be broadcast live on NASA television. This is Mission Control as Discovery continues its post-landing safing activities. Coming up from the Kennedy Space Center on NASA television will be a post-landing press conference beginning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. While we await also the crew which is exited from Discovery, possibility that they will decide to do a walk around of Discovery on the runway. If that does occur, the briefing will be interrupted to return to coverage of the crew walking around the vehicle, and that carried live on NASA television. But again, at this point, at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, in just a few minutes, a post-landing press conference will begin from the Kennedy Space Center. That with NASA Administrator Mike Griffin, Associate Administrator for Space Operations Bill Reedy, Space Shuttle Program Manager Bill Parsons, and KSC Launch and Landing Director Mike Leinbach. That press conference beginning in just a few minutes at 8:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. If the crew of Discovery does begin a walk around of the vehicle on the runway, NASA television will return to that for live coverage. One other
This is Mission Control Houston, back with post-landing processing at the Dryden Flight Research Center in California.
After that walk around, we're going to go to the mic, get set up, call her over. You got it? Try and grab it for a shot on the other side.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're standing by for STS-114 Commander Eileen Collins and her crew to potentially do a walk around of the Space Shuttle Discovery following today's 7:11 a.m. Central Time landing at Edwards Air Force Base in California. This is Mission Control Houston. Commander Eileen Collins and crew exiting the crew transport vehicle outside the Space Shuttle Discovery on the tarmac at Edwards Air Force Base in California. Andy Thomas, Steve Robinson, Charlie Camarda, Wendy Lawrence, Suichi Noguchi, Jim Kelly. Back on terra firma after a 5.8 million mile mission around the Earth. Commander Eileen Collins preparing to walk around the vehicle she just brought home to Earth at Edwards Air Force Base in California at 7:11 a.m. Central Time today, following greetings by Steve Schmidt, the Deputy Director of the Dryden Flight Research Center, Joel D'Agostino, the Space Shuttle Program Manager at Dryden, Colonel Brian Simpson, the Acting Vice Center Commander at Edwards Air Force Base, and Colonel Joe Lanny, the Test Wing Commander there. Collins walking with Flight Surgeon Terry Taddeo. Spacewalkers Steve Robinson and Soichi Gucci getting a close look at the underbelly of Discovery. Robinson, of course, on his third spacewalk of the mission, was in this position on the end of the space station's robotic arm. He pulled 2 tile gap fillers out to help ensure that boundary layer was not tripped and cause additional heating in the tiles behind those tile gap fillers. Mission Specialist Andy Thomas and Wendy Lawrence also inspecting Discovery.
How's the light going to be? Okay.
We've got audio. We don't need a mic check. We're good.
Test.
We're good. We're good. We
Okay.
heard it. Not 7 of them, so I don't know if you're full wide or if you're going to have to move back. There you go. That's probably the best height. No, let her stay back. There you go. Then if you can put the microphone cable, string along down the mic stand.
This is Mission Control Houston, waiting for the STS-114 crew to This is Mission Control Houston, waiting for the STS-114 crew, Commander Eileen Collins, Pilot Jim Kelly, Mission Specialist Steve Robinson, Soichi Noguchi, Andy Thomas, Wendy Lawrence, and Charlie Camarda to complete their inspection of the space shuttle. We're expecting Commander Collins to have a few words for us on the tarmac after she gets done with her inspection. Discovery gliding to a pre-dawn landing today at Edwards Air Force Base at 7:11 a.m. Central Time after 5.8 million miles of orbiting the Earth. This was the 6th lighting in darkness at Edwards Air Force Base and the 50th overall landing there. Commander Collins began the re-entry to Earth's atmosphere with a deorbit burn at 6:06 a.m. Central Time over the western Indian Ocean. Shuttle crossed over the coast of California, just north of Los Angeles. The STS-114 crew, backed up by support teams on the ground, completed an unprecedented mission that provided more information about the condition of the shuttle's heat protection system than has been known on any previous shuttle flight. Conducting 3 successful spacewalks, installing a new external...
Tess, can you hear me? Okay. We're gonna get the crew over here, so it'll be a second. We're missing one person, Steve. Okay, well they don't have the mic set up yet.
This is Mission Control Houston, the STS-114 crew departing the area of the Space Shuttle Discovery following today's landing at Edwards Air Force Base in California at 7:11 a.m. Central Time, 5:11 Pacific. The next few minutes we'll be having our post-landing news conference by Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane. That news conference coming up as soon as Mr. Kane can get to our briefing room and prepare for questions by reporters here at the Johnson Space Center. Again, our next event on NASA television will be today's post-flight news conference at Johnson Space Center by Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane. In addition, about 6 to 6.5 hours following today's landing, a little about after 1 p.m. Central Time, we expect to have a crew news conference from Dryden Flight Research Center in California. Post-landing processing continuing at Edwards Air Force Base by the shuttle convoy team. This is Mission Control Houston. Post-landing processing continues at Edwards Air Force Base in California following Discovery's landing there at 7:11 a.m. Central Time this morning. We're standing by to begin our briefing with Entry Flight Director Leroy Kane. There's currently 78 Kennedy Space Center personnel who are at Edwards Air Force Base supporting landing and post-landing operations. Tomorrow, there's a turnaround team of 170 people who will be flying on a charter plane out of Orlando to Edwards Air Force Base to help begin preparations to return Discovery to the launch site.